want to grab a box of tissues for this week's episode, because by the end of it, you're going to be crying like a little bitch. This week's episode of Hunter x Hunter was an emotional roller coaster, to say the least. And frankly, it was pretty amazing. This was one of the most heart-wrenching episodes of Hunter x Hunter, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that this is the most vulnerable that we have ever seen Gon before. This is the episode where he has a massive confrontation with Neferpitou, and not a single punch was thrown. The anime actually managed to punch us right in the feels. This episode was essentially the calm before the storm, before Gon and Pitou were getting ready to throw down, and it was handled really well. And it wasn't even just the Gon and Pitou show the entire time. There were some other pretty interesting developments, like with the Chimera Ant King finally arriving at the castle, trying to regain his memories. You have Poof, who is continuing to try and cover all of his tracks by getting rid of the Gungi board, and there's also this other little subplot where he's getting ready to screw over Gon big time, and that's where I love this episode, because that's when you could tell that things are really just about to go completely south. Poof has this plan where he actually gets Welfin, the weird wolf guy with the awesome Fabio hair, to call Pitou, and there's this great scene where they're walking down a hallway, and since Pitou is a cat, she can actually use her ears to hear this conversation on her phone that is in her pocket, and Welfin is letting her know that they actually have Komugi. This is all a complete and total lie. This is so Pitou can end up just start fighting against Gon and not giving a crap against Kite. And that's where the big part of the episode for me like really blew me away at the end of the episode, when Gon finally realizes that Kite is dead. And he just collapses on the floor, and he's just continuously blaming himself, letting the tears flow. This is the part of the episode where you're going to start biting your lower lip. But then, at the same time, he's trying to blame Pitou in the same situation because she's the one who actually physically decapitated Kite. And he's trying to put a little bit of the blame on her as well to sort of give him this great excuse to go batshit insane and beat the crap out of her. And it manages to get even more tense when suddenly Pitou activates the Dr. Blythe ability, which Gon thinks he's just sort of fooling himself into thinking that Pitou is going to heal Kite. And it's so heart-wrenching, guys. It's so terrible. And then suddenly he realizes that Pitou is just healing her arm and getting ready to throw down. And it's really just a matter of time before his lid just blows off and he goes crazy. And it's so intense. You know, they handle it so well with the voice acting and the use of flashbacks, which a lot of the times flashbacks really piss me off because it's like, yeah, I saw that before or whatever, but it actually served a purpose here to reinforce more of what Kite was about and how he had such a strong relationship with Gon. And that's another reason why this episode is so important, is because it sort of dawned on me while watching this one why Kite is such an important character to Gon in the first place. And it's not just because Kite is just a badass hunter who saved him when he was a younger kid. It's that Kite is basically the strongest connection that Gon has to his father. And now he's gone, and he still hasn't met his father yet. It's just got to be incredibly taxing on him, and he's just completely beating himself up over it. It's really disturbing, and the entire time, Palm is actually watching because she has her crazy ability to cover her eye, and her crystal ball allows her to see the 3 different people, and it actually kind of looks like a security camera, or basically like a TV with 3 different parts. She explains a little bit more about her powers. If she sees another person, it'll move the other person away, and she doesn't want that to happen because they're trying to watch Poof. They're trying to take him down, but he's being a little sneaky asshole. He has actually become probably one of the best villains from this series. I love how manipulative he is, and even though he's just sort of an underling of the king, he's still just got a lot of crazy plans, and it's really because of him that Pitou is just about to go crazy. So he basically just let a tiger off of its chain, which, God, I cannot wait to see next week's episode, man. It's just going to be so good. It's going to be so epic. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter? Well, it kicked freaking ass. The animation and the artwork was pretty good this week. This was not a huge dynamic episode. This was an episode that was meant to sort of give us a little bit of build-up for this massive battle and to try and make us cry. It might have worked on you. It almost worked on me, but I managed to hold back these tears. I'm freaking filled with testosterone. There's no way I'm going to cry with that shit. I'm putting up a bullshit front here, but this week's episode was awesome. It also had a lot of really cool moments with Welfin returning. The voice acting was pretty damn fantastic this week, especially from Gon, when he was crying at the end of the episode, beating himself up, and then suddenly becoming quickly enraged at the thought that Pitou is the one responsible for killing Kite. I thought that was handled very well, and of course, just everything else was just really handled well. The pacing, the tension, every single moment was crazy, especially when Pitou was walking down the hallway and talking on the phone. That's when you realize that shit's just really about to go down, and how tense it was at the end when Pitou was actually healing her arm. Just so well done. It was handled so well, and it's got me so excited for next week. So check out this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. It's pretty much a perfect episode in my opinion. I'm really not a big fan of flashbacks, but like I said, they worked within the context of this episode, so I got no complaints. This was a 10 out of 10 episode of Hunter x Hunter. It was a masterpiece. It was awesome. It was stellar. It had great action. It was great. Check it out. I can't talk any more good about it. Just see it. Watch it. Do it now. Do it. Get to the chopper. If you guys saw this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And you can tell me with your comments below. What did you think about this episode when Gon and Pitou had their confrontation? Are you excited for their inevitable battle? Did this episode make you shed a tear or two? And what's going to happen with the Chimera Ant King? You can tell me with your comments below. Remember guys, before you leave, hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. Remember to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links to those in the description box below. And if you want to see all of our awesome reviews, make sure and subscribe to the channel. It's really, really awesome. So I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.